Hey, Ronnie. How's your week going? Aw, are you sick or? Busy. One thing after another. Is it good that the door's open? At least it's nice today. Right now I have with AIM I'm teaching four. And then I teach two others through another place, and I tutor in the evenings. So, plus I'm trying to get my courses ready for fall. I'm teaching 6 or 7. Too many. Yeah. Well, for AIM, I'm teaching 6, I think. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, I'm teaching 9. And then I'm teaching 4 more elsewhere. Yeah. It changes a little bit. At least I get to, I guess you guys sort of get to pick what classes you're taking. This year's rough because I'm building. Yeah. Like trying to put stuff in the computer and getting it all organized takes time. But I'm adding a couple classes this fall, but once I get all the classes added, then teaching them won't be so bad because the material's already there. I'm just going to be tweaking stuff every year rather than putting everything in. So it took me a little while to figure out how to do stuff too in Canvas. So I had, before this year, I was a assistant, a TA. So like I graded, so I sort of knew my way around Canvas, but I didn't know all of the ins and outs of building. So, are you taking lots of classes next year? What you taking? Have you guys picked out what you're doing? Ah, cool. I will be teaching AP Physics if you're interested. Although AP Physics, honestly, if you're taking physics at college, right? Yeah, I don't know if AP Physics would be all that helpful because it's pretty much the same thing. Well, I would love to have you in my class. You could actually take the AP exam after you've finished this semester of college. Actually, you probably can now. You could probably take it this year because AP Physics 1 only covers first semester. AP Physics 2 then does what you're doing now at college. Unfortunately, we will not be offering calculus next year. I would like to add that in the future, but my plate is full right now. I do. I teach, for AIM, I teach Alg 1 and environmental. If you're looking for an AP class, AP environmental would probably be a good one. It's actually pretty easy compared to something like AP Physics. And it's still AP credit. Same for AP Bio, although I don't know that we offer that. I don't teach bio. But But yeah, I teach Algebra 1 and an accelerated Algebra 1, environmental and AP, and next year I'll be teaching, next year we're adding AP environmental and AP physics. Right now I teach both of the regular ones. And then AP computer science principles, if you're looking for another AP. That one you also, there's no prerequisites for it, and you, the end of the course is not just a test, it's actually a combination. You build a project like an app, and that's part of your score for your test. And then you also have an actual test like all the other AP classes have. So it's a combo score, not just a test score. Yeah, and you actually, yes, I get to pick the language we'll focus on, but if you wanted to do your project in a different language, as long as you understand it, you could. Like if you, do you know some computer languages or? Okay. So when I was in school, we learned basic and advanced basic. So that's probably way back before anything that's currently out. And then, so we'll probably use Java for class. And then HTML, CSS. Well, no, CSS isn't really its own language, I don't think. Yeah, I never actually took an HTML class. I just I messed around building websites until I learned it. Well, actually, that's not true. I guess in college, I had to take a programming class, so I took, I think it was web design. And my professor actually, I never even had the class, and he knew less than I did. Like he was constantly writing up code wrong. College is such a grab bag. Sometimes you get great professors, and other times you get awful ones. Yeah, CSS I kind of picked up as I needed it when I was doing HTML, to if there was something I couldn't do with HTML. Most languages, I think. Well, that's interesting. I think most programming languages you can kind of pick up as you need them. Like it helps if you have a reason for learning them rather than just taking them. Like my son did one of those, what's it called? It was a modifying, no, it was a class on modifying Minecraft through, I got it on Groupon. Yeah. So that had a little bit of Java in it, but it was kind of like basically they gave them the Java and then they just had to modify it to what they wanted. So they learned enough to change the Java, but they didn't have to write everything from scratch. And they did some troubleshooting and stuff because I ended up having to help with some of that. With modding Minecraft or troubleshooting? Oh, cool. Yeah, Charlie had to make, so the class had to make a whole, a new armor, weapon, everything with a new item or a new material. So he made emerald everything. So he had emerald armor and emerald weapons because his favorite color is green. So it was actually pretty neat. Yeah. Unfortunately, mods only work for the person who has the mod. So everybody else can't see the cool stuff. Like you have to have it installed on your own. It'd be nice if Minecraft would, I don't know, replicate the mod on their server for if you're using one. Well, I don't know if, yeah, I think you have to have the server actually Yeah, I don't think Alex is coming. So I added some more questions to the energy and momentum group. And I saw that you've taken the first two quizzes, the dynamics and the kinematics. So do you have any questions from ones that you've taken, or? Okay. And you understand what you got wrong? Okay. 37. Oh, from the original test? The initial exam? Okay. Let me get my book out. Somewhere here. I was just doing this stuff this morning. 37. I think we did do it last week, but let's look at 37. That's the wrong test. That's the right test. So that was the temperature, the heat source, and sink efficiency, that stuff. Okay, so efficiency is this funny looking, and it's a Greek letter. I don't actually remember what it is because I just write it. Anyways, and so the formula for efficiency is T hot minus T cold divided by T hot. And then this will give you a decimal version. So you'd have to multiply it by 100 to get the percent, right? Or you can just know that this is a decimal equivalent, and then I assume you can translate that into a percent. So it would just be 360 minus 270 divided by 360, right? So 36 minus 27 would be 9 divided by 36, or 9 is 1/4, right? 0.25, so 25%. Yeah, and that's what last week I said. So there's some obscure equations that are probably good to know, but they're probably ones you don't already know. So I assume you guys have kinematics, F equals ma, energy, things like that. You probably have down cold now. But there's some more obscure ones that I think it'd be helpful for you guys to have. So I'm going to try and make a list you guys can use to reference and just try to memorize between now and whenever you take the test. Unfortunately, no equations are given on the exam. The good news is, though, the math's super easy. So they set it up, since you don't have a calculator, the math will be really easy to calculate in your head. So if you get something that's super complicated and needs a calculator, like you're pulling in sine and cosine and stuff, you've probably done something wrong. That actually, the efficiency one also could be chemistry as well. I don't remember if they talk about heat engines in chemistry, but thermodynamics kind of overlaps with chemistry. So, any other questions? Yeah, that's actually where I pull the questions from. Well, so I have the 2 from here, and then the other ones I'm getting from some study guides and stuff. And then I'm still trying to find some more official ones that I can pull questions from too. So like the AP site has a teacher section that's password protected where we can go in and see past tests. So I'm going to do some digging and see if I can find the same kind of thing for the physics subject test. There is questions. If you just go on the College Board website, they have like 37 questions that you can go through. They're all just mixed up. topic-wise, but you can go through their multiple choice online, so you can click through and it has explanations and stuff too. So if you're looking for extra practice, that's one way to do it. At this point, I would probably say, I know you've got some time before your exam. No, Khan focuses a lot on the AP exam, not as much on the subject test, I don't think. I know I looked there before and I was, like, I think they give a section, I'm looking there now, but like they have a section for the subject tests, but they don't really have a lot of stuff there. No, that's SAT. The SAT. Like they have tons of stuff for the SAT itself. And they have physics stuff. So you can go and look, like I think I put the videos on the playlists from Khan. So if there's a specific topic, like they have just a general physics class information. So if there's a specific topic you're looking for, like lenses or thermodynamics, those types of things, you can look and find that separate section and then work through the videos and the practice problems. They just won't be set up quite like the SAT 2. So they don't have multiple choice questions set up. Like you might have to, it might be open-ended where you have to type in answers, stuff like that. But they do have the topics there. Educators. I'm looking now to see if I can find some more materials. They do, but, well, they have all the ones required for the AP test. And some of them are labeled differently than you probably are learning them. Like I know on the AP physics equation sheet, and it always throws everybody off, kinetic energy is labeled as just E, and then potential is U, little things like that. So like you'd have to recognize that capital U is potential energy, things like that. I actually found a document that has all the equations, but it's like 8 pages long. So I'm going to try and condense it down into what I think is the core of the equations you need to know. There's always going to be some equation you don't know. That's just how it rolls. I mean, pi and g. Like lowercase g, like, well, yeah, actually capital G, I guess, too. Big G is the gravitational constant, right? 6.67 times 10 to the 11th. Little g is 9.8, although you could, depending on the question, I want to say this test, they let you use 10 just because it makes the math easier. And And that's how the AP test is set up too. So the AP Physics assumes you just use 10 because it's mathematically easier. K is the electrical equivalent of big G. It's the electrical constant. Speed of light would probably be a good constant to know. And you could just use 3 times 10 to the 9th, I think, not 2.99. 2.99 is kind of like the 9.8, like it's more accurate, but less used. 2, this is not helpful at all. And they actually assume when you take the SAT's subject test that there's going to be topics on there that weren't covered in your class. Like they try to kind of cover every topic in physics, well, in intro physics. And so there's bound to be something you haven't covered. And that's understood. That's why you can get, what, 16 wrong and still get an 800. So, I don't know if it's got. Yeah. Yes. I mean, you always want to aim high, and then that way, you know, just don't be too disappointed if you don't get all of them correct. Like, don't aim for 75, but on your practice exams, if you don't get 75, don't beat yourself up too hard. You know, anything in the 60s is an 800. So, but obviously if you aim low, you'll hit low. So don't aim for 40 either. If you're trying to get an 800, then you want to aim for 75 and just accept that there's going to be some that you do not know. And don't focus on the ones you don't know and then miss out on the ones that you do know. So if you come across a question and you have no idea, just move on, do the rest, and then come back to it if you have time. But don't waste a whole bunch of time trying to get that one question. Oh, I do actually have, I did find from the, so I had you guys get the specific test book for physics. There's also a general book that SAT puts out or College Board puts out that has all 20 tests in it. So I have the questions from that. I'm going to put those in the question bank too. Actually, I think one of them I was going to use as the final "How are you doing?" test. So, yeah, ideally you should be doing like 2 to 3 quizzes a week, even if it's topics that you've already covered, just to keep things fresh and to make sure that you have lots of exposure to questions and nothing too surprising. Well, the quizzes, yeah, they're quizzes, basically, the 5 questions for each topic. If you take it once, you'll get 1 set of questions, but it's pulling from a question bank. So you can take it again and you may get some questions you've had already, and then you should get some questions that are totally new. I think every question bank has at least 10 questions in it right now, and then I'm slowly adding to them. So as there's more questions, then obviously using statistics, or probability, you'll get some variation every time you try to take it. Yes. And my feeling is, just like for the regular SAT, the more you get exposed to questions, the less surprised you'll be on test day. So you don't want to lose time because you get a question and you're like, what are they even asking? Or how does, what should I be doing for this? If you've seen a similar question before, you'll be able to get started much faster and it'll take less time. So since you have 75 questions in only 60 minutes, you need to be able to move as fast as possible. So the more exposure you get, the less likely you'll be stunned and slowed down, right? And if you recognize it right away, hopefully you'll get a question faster and then you'll have more time to work on those that are just more challenging. So I didn't really have anything planned for today other than we were going to go through questions, but I think I'd rather wait for Alex to be here to go through the last 25 from the test, the initial exam. So I'd like to wait till next week and hopefully he'll be here for that. So do you have any questions for me about SAT physics or what you should be doing or? Did you know you could retake the quizzes? Ah, okay. I guess I didn't look hard enough. I just saw your score. I didn't see that you took them multiple times. Okay, then I'm gonna keep adding questions and we'll work on an answer key. And then if there's anything else you need, so if you're doing practice and stuff and you find there's something that might be helpful, feel free to send me a message and say, hey, I could really use such and such to help me get through, learning something or stuff like that. And then after we finish going through the initial exam, we're just going to start doing questions every week. So if you have specific questions you want to go through, make sure you bring those. And they can even be questions from your current class. So if you're working on homework or something, those topics are all covered on the exam. So we can work through problems and then that'll help you understand the concepts better for the physics exam. So. Did you get a chance to go through the last 25 from the initial exam? 50 to 75? Okay, that's your homework this week. So you work on that. And then let me know if you have any questions and we'll go through them regardless next week. But if there's something you definitely know you're gonna need help with, just mark that down so that you can ask me next week. Okay? Okay, go practice. Yep. Bye.